I have no choice. Even though it's still daylight, even though I have no magic against the evil powder, I must go to the cottage. The fairies are coming tonight, and I must get rid of the man people. The cottage has turned white, and there's a funny smell in the air. The man people has been painting. I can see his bucket. By the barn, the carvings around the door are blue and red. I recognize this place. I think I've seen it before. If someone were telling me a story about a cottage in the woods, this is the cottage I would picture. Is this a story, I wonder? Am I in it? I notice something else, a curl of smoke rising out from the chimney. The man people must have figured out about the moss. He must know now that I didn't really put a spell on his hearth. I edge around the side of the house. The thorny sticks have all been pulled out of the garden and added to the pile of weeds. The man people must know I didn't curse his garden. I peer down the well. There's nothing in it but water. He must know I didn't turn his well water into skunk spit and frog pee. He must know everything. He's seen through all my tricks. I swallow hard. He is too clever for me. I had such a good idea of the trick I was going to play next. I told the man people I would give his cow wings and she would fly to the moon, and so I thought I would lead his cow away and hide her somewhere. After all, she might be on the moon for all he knew. Now my idea doesn't seem so good. My tricks aren't tricky enough, but I don't know what else to do. My eyes sting. The only hope is that maybe the man people thinks I am coming tonight, so he hasn't sprinkled his evil powder yet. I don't want to become invisible. I don't want to call and have no one hear me. It reminds me of the game Flit and Fleet and the other fairies like to play. One of them will point at me and say, I don't see any fairies over there. Do you see a fairy? Another will answer, Well, I see you and I see me, but there's nobody over there. It's me, I say. I'm right here. Do you hear a fairy? I do not. I hear no fairies. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I say. It is a mean game. I take little steps toward the barn, all the time looking back and forth for the man people. He must be in the house. There is no ring of salt now. There are no nails or bits of iron in the grass. For some reason, this upsets me more than anything else. It's as if he thinks he has already won his fight against me. Slowly, I open the creaky door of the barn, hoping the man people is not listening. I've never been inside a place before. I've never felt walls around me squashing me. Is it like being inside the belly of a wolf? I creep in and shut the door. It's not so bad. Light comes in from some holes in the ceiling and from the spaces between the boards of the walls. The cow takes no notice of me. Suddenly, I'm afraid I may have stepped into the man people's powder without realizing it. Can you see me, cow? I ask. Can you hear me? She is a beautiful brown cow with big black eyes. I pet her gently on the forehead and my hand does not go through. No, I don't think I'm a ghost yet. There is a rope around her neck attached to a ring on the wall. It's a metal ring, but I carefully pick the knot without touching it. You're going to be free, I whisper. Moo, she says. I take the rope in my hand and pull, but she doesn't come. Don't you want to get away from the horrible man people, I ask. Moo, she says again loudly. Shh, I tell her. He'll hear. I can see why she doesn't want to leave. The little barn is snug and small and has a wonderful smell of hay. I'm sure it's as cozy as my nest. I pull the rope again and she kicks the wall, making the barn shake. Oh, don't make so much noise, I beg. I'm trying to rescue you. Moo! Wicked Nix, says an angry voice from outside. Fairy Nix, I know you're in there. I freeze. There are no windows, and the man people is at the door. This is why I don't like inside places you can't get out again. There is no one here, I say. I don't move, hoping he'll go away again. If there is no one here, who is speaking? The man people says. Only the cow, I say. You don't sound like my cow. Only the mouse who lives in the wall. I hear the barn door open with a creak. Quick as a mink, I hide myself in a big pile of hay. Nix, foulest of the fairies, the man people says. I warned you. I try to make myself small. I wish I really were a mouse and could scurry away under his feet. Through the hay, I can see him creeping toward me. He has a handful of something. It must be his evil powder. But it's not in a bottle or a jar. He's just holding it against his bare skin. It probably only works on fairies. Don't come any closer, I tell him, my voice shaking. I might not have any magic, but I do have my face, and when you see it, you will scream and run away, and your hair will turn white as bone forever. I don't have any hair, the man people says. I hadn't thought of that. Well, maybe your eyes will fall out then. I'm not sure. But the queen says I must never show my face to any peoples. It is too foul for them to bear. The man people hesitates. I can see that he believes me. I have this magic powder. His voice is shaking a little too. I'll use it. I make my decision. It's Midsummer's Eve, and there's no more time. Slowly, I stand up, letting the hay that was covering me fall to the floor. Gaze on me in terror, man people, I say, for I am wicked Nix, the foulest of the fairies. The man people's eyes open wide. But, he says, you're not a fairy. You're a boy.